Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Zerofats coming at you on behalf of Life and Times of Zerofats.adventuresontheriver.com. That is my blog. Kind of a weird name, kind of a long name. It's a subdomain for adventuresontheriver.com. But that's cool, man. You know, I might just pick up the regular domain on it and and make it easier for you guys to remember. But anyways, Life and Times of Zerofats.adventuresontheriver.com. That's my blog, man. And there I provide a lot of information. But let's put all that aside for a second. What I want to talk to you guys about is my new web series. This is the first episode for this channel right here. I launched 5 series this week. This one is called The State of Zero. And this series I'm very excited about, man, because this series is not about necessarily making money. It's not about saving money. It's not about Amazon. It's not about any of that stuff. This series is about, like, the life and times in the world we live in today, according to me. Okay, so yeah, I mean, there's gonna be some, undertones of making money and stuff, man, because that's my life, man. That's what I live. So there's gonna be a lot of that. But State of Zero. This series is gonna be about just other things that are like in my wheelhouse that I find interesting, that I think you guys might find interesting too. So here we are, episode 1 of The State of Zero. Now I have this series scheduled for 8 episodes, and that'll be season 1. And we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. If you guys like State of Zero, make sure you like, make sure you share, make sure you subscribe, and let me know in the comment section if you like this series. After 8 episodes, I'll evaluate all these series, and I'll figure out what people like and what people don't like, and I'll either I'll retire them, or I'll keep moving forward with them, But anyway, this is episode 1 of State of Zero, and what I want to talk to you guys today is about apps listening to you, and I want to talk to you about banks and their affiliates, right? Because this all kind of ties together to me. And I want to tell you 2 stories, okay? Well, let me set my timer here, because I don't want to. I've been known to ramble on in my videos, and I don't want to ramble on too much on you guys, so I'll put myself in check there with the timer. So okay, so here's the first little story that you might find interesting. Okay, so now I went to Hothead Burrito the other day, okay, to get my family some burritos. They like Hothead burritos, and we were eating there for supper. So I went there and got some burritos. I paid for it with my debit card, from my bank. Just swipe my debit card. It's easy, right? I don't have to have any cash on me. Just right from my bank, swipe it, and go. Cool. So I got some Hothead burritos, purchased some hot burritos right there with my debit card. Went home, we ate, decided to get on, check my emails, and I pulled up my Pandora. I don't know if you guys ever used that. Pandora is like an online radio station. It's like an online radio thing where you can listen to radio, while you're doing your other stuff on the internet. And I was listening to some tunes, man. I was listening to my Pandora. I was listening to some tunes, checking my emails, trying to help people, respond to people, I do a lot of, you guys know I work online, so I get a lot of emails every day, and I got to kind of answer them and try to help people, my customers, and all that kind of stuff. So I was jamming some tunes, and I want you to know, man, well, Pandora uses advertising. Pandora's free, but they use advertising. So it'll just be like a regular radio station, and you'll hear like commercials here and there, right? So I want you to know, man, as soon as I start listening to Pandora, one of the first commercials I hear is for Hothead Burrito. Boom! Just like that. I was just at Hothead Burrito, Now listen, you might think, oh man, whatever, that's just a coincidence. But I promise you that's not a coincidence. I've confirmed it with my bank. I happen to know that my bank has thousands of affiliates, okay, and one of them is Hothead Burritos, okay, and what happens is my bank is keeping a profile on me and all their other members of our spending, of how much money we're depositing into our account, and they're sharing all that information with their affiliates. They're building a profile on me based on my spending habits, and based on how much money I make, and how often I spend money, and what days I spend money the most, and all these little minute details about me, and they're sharing all this information with all their affiliates. Okay, and one of their affiliates is Hothead Burritos. Hothead Burritos happens to spend advertising dollars on Pandora for advertising. So as a result, as soon as I buy something at Hothead Burritos with my debit card, that triggers a reaction. That information sent from my bank to Hothead Burritos, it triggers a reaction, and boom, their advertising is targeted at me, right? Because I have bought Hothead Burritos just today. And that's how fast that happens. I buy it, and 2 hours later, boom, I'm targeted. I'm targeted by Hothead Burritos advertising campaign. Just like that. So what I'm telling you is be aware that like your banks and your credit unions, they highly incentivize you using your debit card. They have incentives for it. You know, either there'll be like positive incentives or negative incentives. They'll either like charge you, you know, like I think at my credit union it's like you could have a savings account and like the savings account up to $500, you can get a 3% interest rate for up to $500 that you keep in the savings account. But to get that, you have to meet some conditions. And one of the conditions you have to meet is you have to have at least 4 transactions in your checking account, right? And the transactions can be like a direct deposit transaction. So why would they want a direct deposit transaction? And I'll tell you why. They're building a profile. A direct deposit transaction, generally 9 times out of 10, people aren't going to be like me and have like, you know, 5 or 6, 7 different, you know, revenue streams coming into their checking account. Most people for a direct deposit, they're going to have one main stream of revenue, and that's where they work, right? So if you sign up for direct deposit, instantly, the bank starts to build a profile on you of how much money you're earning and how often. They probably even get a good idea about what you do for a living based on where that money's coming from, right? So that's part of the profile they're building on you, okay? So they incentivize you for direct depositing. Another condition to get that 3% on the savings. Now this is a credit union, mind you. It's a credit union, okay? Another condition that you can meet for this awesome interest rate on your savings account is at least 4 debit card transactions within the month, right? So they're pushing you. They're pushing you to use your debit card. And the reason is because when I just pull like $100 out of the bank, like in cash, like they can't track me. They can't track what I'm doing with my money. They can't build a profile to give to their affiliates, alright? But if I'm using my debit card, they can track all of that spending. And they can send that information out to their affiliates, and their affiliates are paying them for this information. So the bank's making money off of profiling you. So I want you guys to know that. The banks and the credit unions, you can't trust them. They are making money off of profiling you and for advertising, you know. And who knows what else, man. Honestly, who really knows what else? If you start looking at the underbelly of it, it's probably not too pretty, you know. But let's just keep it vanilla. Let's keep it vanilla and understand it's a fact that your banks have thousands of affiliates and they are profiling you. They're building a profile on you to sell to those affiliates. Just understand that. Okay, so there's that. Can't trust the banks. We use the banks and we're conditioned to use the banks, but understand that the banks are a business, the credit unions are a business. The credit unions have a kind of a reputation as being more trustworthy than the banks, but they're not. They're not. They're not more trustworthy than the banks. They're highly incentivized, okay? These programs I'm talking about, highly incentivized to get you to spend money in certain ways, to get you to direct deposit your money so that they can build these profiles on you. It's very big business, okay? And you have a point of reference on this if you do any Facebook advertising. Facebook's like crazy with profiling. They narrow laser target markets. So anyways, cool. There's that. Now the second thing I wanted to tell you about starts with another story, okay? So if anybody's been watching my channel for a little while, you understand I'm a musician. I'm prone to just sing songs and play my guitar. So anyways, I'm in my bedroom hanging out with my wife. My wife is playing on her tablet. She's messing around on her tablet, okay? And I'm in here and I just start singing like songs from like The Wall, Pink Floyd, The Wall. yeah, I'm singing some songs like Comfortably Numb and, Another Brick in the Wall and Virulent, and I'm just kind of singing some songs. I'm trying to see if I can remember them from, because I used to play all these songs a long time ago. And I was kind of trying to conjure up these lyrics in my mind. I was just kind of singing them, man. It was a nice day, and I was just kind of singing them. But, very shortly after that, like maybe like minutes after that, I was singing one of the songs. Like, my wife's tablet started advertising Pink Floyd stuff. Like, to buy, like, Amazon Pink Floyd stuff, Facebook banners, Pink Floyd stuff, YouTube, like, Pink Floyd stuff. She started seeing Pink Floyd stuff popping up, So, that creeped me out, right? That creeped me out. I was like, wow. That's just for me singing Pink Floyd a cappella. Okay, I wasn't even using my guitar. I was just kind of singing the songs, just randomly or whatever. So I was like, wow. And after the bank thing, after the hothead burrito thing, like, I don't take anything for coincidence anymore. So now I look into this a little bit deeper. I start researching it. Come to find out, man, most of the apps, a lot of the apps that you and I download for our little tablets and our smartphones and stuff like that, a lot of those apps, you have to agree to terms, right? And we all know this. But what you might not realize is a lot of those apps, one of the terms you agree to is to let the app turn on your microphone and turn on your camera at will, just whenever it wants to. Change settings within your smartphone, change settings within your tablet that will allow it to just turn them on whenever they want. What I'm telling you is your tablets and your smartphones are like bugs. They're like bugs. They're listening. They're listening to what's going on in the room. The reason why they're doing it, well, let's keep it vanilla here. The reasoning behind it is to target markets, right? Like, they hear me singing a Pink Floyd song, so they figure, hey, we can use this information and sell you Pink Floyd shit, right? That's the idea behind it, Now they're saying that, like, we don't actually record any actual audio. What we do is we take the audio and we turn it into a code that can't even be, like, turned back into audio. It can't even be turned back into audio. We take the audio, we turn it into a code, it can't even be turned back into audio. And what we do is we take that code and we compare it with other codes that we're getting from everyone else's smartphones and tablets and stuff, and we're trying to find, similarities. We're trying to find similarities. That way we can better advertise to people. Now, I mean, you can believe that if you want to believe it, but I tend not to. I mean, I would imagine that, like, if you're recording, code instead of audio, it's because code is a lot smaller. Not because you want to protect my privacy. It's because code is smaller than audio files. And, like, I'm pretty sure that code you can translate, you could translate into whatever you wanted. I'm pretty sure that you could, turn that back into whatever you wanted. I mean, so anyways, yeah, I found it very disconcerting, and I don't even know if that's necessarily true about the code thing. I know that's what they're saying. I know that's what Facebook says. Facebook's a huge one, by the way, you guys. If you have a Facebook app on your phone, those guys are most definitely trying to listen to your conversations. They are most definitely eavesdropping on what you're doing, okay? They're doing it to fuel their ad campaign. They have a mega ad campaign. I, as an internet marketer, have done Facebook advertising. They allow you to laser target markets, okay? That's why everyone likes Facebook advertising, even though, honestly, I haven't had a lot of luck with Facebook advertising. I think it's, I mean, whatever. Some people have had a lot of luck with it. I haven't. I have a lot more luck with YouTube advertising than Facebook advertising, personally. But whatever. That's just me. I have gotten this course called Traffic Geyser, I think. I got it. I got it a couple months ago, and I haven't had a time to mess with it, But maybe that'll change. But I mean, honestly, after doing this, after learning about all this stuff, invasion of privacy stuff, I'm just like, it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth, man. I mean, honestly, what it boils down to is if you got a tablet or a smartphone in your house, I mean, you have no privacy. You have no privacy, man. These things are turning on whenever they want, and they're like recording. They're recording sounds, and they're recording visuals, and they're They're recording all this, and the premise is they're doing it under the premise of advertising better. So we can advertise better. We can cater to your advertising needs better, right? So I don't know. So the idea is that if I'm in a room talking to my wife about, hey man, I need to get a new pair of trail walking shoes. I really like these New Balances. I like to get me another pair of New Balances. You know, I like New Balances trail walking shoes. I like their hiking shoes. I'm gonna get a pair of those. The idea is on my tablet can hear me saying that, and then the next time I get on my tablet, I'll be seeing like advertisements for New Balance trail walking shoes. Right? That's the idea. I mean, does anybody else see like how this could be used just to like invade your privacy, period, and not just for advertising purposes, but just to do all kinds of weird stuff and invade people's privacy? I mean, you know, most of us don't really have anything to hide per se, but we still enjoy our privacy. I mean, we still don't like the idea of being in our house and everybody listening to our conversations. I just don't like it, man. I think it sucks. I mean, so now we got companies like, you know, basically in our house listening to our conversations just so they can figure out what to sell us. Because I happen to talk about my grandpa needing a hearing aid and I'd like to help him with it, you know, so now all of a sudden I'm going to be getting advertisements from Miracle Ear or something. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this is something that doesn't sit right with me about it. I think it sucks. So I don't want to get too much more into this. I've been rambling on enough. But what do you guys think? How do you guys feel about your smartphones and your tablets listening in to what you're saying without your consent? Well, I guess you did give them consent in the beginning when you agreed to those terms. But just randomly listening into your conversations whenever you want, you know, randomly recording videos whenever they want. How do you guys feel about it? What do you think about it? Does it scare you? Does it bother you at all? Let me know in the comment section, man. Anyways, I hope you like this video. This has been the very first episode ever of Stay to Zero. I'm very excited about this series. I love talking about things outside of just making money. But anyways, I'll catch up with you guys next week for another episode of Stay to Zero. And everybody stay safe out there, man. Peace.